This is actually Richard Chamberlain.
Oh, okay. Good morning. I'd like to welcome all of you. The City of Laredo Blue Ribbon Committee for People with Disabilities. Today is October 19, 2022. And so thank you for being here this morning. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And the first item is review and approve minutes of August 17, 2022. So you should have a copy of the minutes in your folder. You could please look at these. Identify any revisions, changes, corrections, anything.
Where did the horse go? There he is. So I'm doing minutes today.
It's recorded, so.
You're okay. Because then she's gonna be responsible for it,
Mhm.
right? So does she get the recording?
Yeah, it's loaded on YouTube, so she can get access to. I'll have Tiffany connect with her so she can share the recording.
That's good.
Yeah. Had she mentioned she was gonna?
Ms. Ramos, Jeanette Ramos?
No. No. Does she want to log in? Or
No, no, no.
No, it's just she's not here for the
She's the
minutes.
secretary.
Oh, no, that's fine. I usually send her the YouTube link.
Oh,
Ah, okay,
so she
perfect.
just
Thank
missed
you.
it.
Too far back.
Texas workforce. Once they become a case, then they can. Yeah. You always do that.
Because it's very important and that has access to what it is that the goals are. And I don't know if it is kosher
Working, getting
to have
experience at the
something that
very
was put together by
knowledge,
counselors.
bringing
Don't go over.
Thank you for that.
You'll come out and throw it.
each other. It's just a lot.
I really do have a question on this, but not know what it is. I know, because it's been too long. I'm gonna ask. Excuse me, Mr. Chair, when you're ready, I have a question, please.
Cool. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I don't know if it's because I didn't hear it correctly since I was participating by phone, but I don't remember what a jail diversion program. What is that?
The jail diversion program is primarily to address
Because it,
the frequent or inappropriate incarcerations of individuals with behavioral health problems. And so jail diversion, because prisons have become like the mental health hospitals for the entire country,
agreed.
okay? So they try to divert individuals from going into jail before they get there.
All
Okay,
right.
so like supported housing has a jail diversion program, for example.
Okay.
And so what we did, or what we still do, is that every morning we would send one of our case managers down there, who's a jail diversion clinician, and he would sit there while they're magistrating the people who just got arrested. And he could identify, that would be the opportunity for him to identify individuals with behavioral health problems and the possible reason why they committed a crime may have been because they have behavioral health issues.
Understood?
And so that's not a location for appropriate treatment. Okay, so they should be diverted out, okay?
I
And moved
understand.
to the
Diversion,
communities, and
diverted
moved to the
out.
community center or to another provider. So the whole idea here is to avoid or prevent or minimize or limit the number of people with mental health problems, okay, or issues
From ending up in a jail.
from ending up in a
and
jail where they may
incarcerated.
not receive the adequate treatment or no
Right.
treatment at all. And so that's one of the things that many of the jails suffer from right now, is that they're overwhelmed with the number of people with mental health issues in the jail system. So something like, I think it's like 40% of individuals who are in
Yes,
jail.
even years ago, I
50%.
remember like 30 years ago, there were research people out there that were finding that a disproportionate number of citizens that had some form of disability that affected behavior, they were in jail.
Correct.
So, thank you for that.
So the issue with the police department is that they should have a staff or an officer within every 24 hours of duty, they should have a jail diversion or a mental health officer with them. So that if there's a possible arrest or a call, and the officer that's arriving at the scene feels that the person may be suffering from mental health issues, you're supposed to call the police department and have the officer who's specifically trained in mental health to come in and do the assessment and determine whether that person would probably be better off going to a treatment
facility.
Correct.
Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
I have excellent explanation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, the larger cities have a very
And then it follows the other statement that says that a jail diversion program would be great, but funding is always an issue.
Right.
So to speak to that, I wonder if there's any federal grants available for that purpose.
I'm sure there aren't. Probably through through SAMHSA, they probably have grants for that.
Because it's needed and we don't, so am I to understand we don't have anything like that in Laredo?
The gentleman said that they did.
PD.
And
They
They came, right, that they got a small unit, the mental health
Oh, they
unit.
do.
They were here. Mr. Gonzalez, I think was his name.
Gonzalez?
Sergeant Gonzalez. And
Garcia.
Garcia, there you go.
What was it, Jane?
It was a G. We were there.
Close.
And they have a mental health unit, but he's welcoming any help, any, input, because it's fairly new and they've got a lot of bumps on the road, so,
But it started.
yeah.
That's great.
Much needed.
That's great.
I think it's a unit and they have a couple of officers already assigned to the unit, and one of the officers, it's Officer Jacqueline Davalos.
Who was your student?
She was my student, and I remember her.
Yes.
She's one of the officers assigned to that unit, which
Yes.
is great to see. She's a very good level-headed.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I read a prank on it, that's right.
That's great.
Gracias, bye-bye, have a good day.
I know. Both? That was
Before I continue, please forgive me, I failed to introduce Mr. Solis.
Hello, Mr.
I'm like,
Solis.
okay, so
Welcome.
who's this strange man here? Never seen him here, but that's fine. You're more than welcome. But I'm sorry for missing you.
Yeah, coming up. Coming up on the agenda.
Anyway, we'll get to Mr. Solis in a second.
Proceeds.
So I never got an approval or no approval on the minutes for 17th, August 17th.
Andale.
So I have recommend for approval as minutes.
I have a motion, do I have a second? Okay, so we've approved the minutes for August 17th, 2022. Next item on the agenda is public comments. I don't know if there's any public comments. No public comments, okay. We'll move on to item 4, which is the report from Christine Reyes on the special needs program.
Good morning, everyone. I always try to keep it brief, but sometimes the report gets a little lengthy. But our program attended the White Cane Day event that was hosted by Texas Workforce Solutions. Big shout out to Ms. San Miguel for the invitation on that. It was really nice to see everyone there. It was a beautiful ceremony. Our program was able to connect with 21 families through the district, and we will be enrolling them to our program and providing each family with emergency funding. I'm also going to be connecting them to our state caseworkers for additional resources such as respite care hours, therapy hours, as well as medical equipment that they might need. So the event was beautiful. It was really nice it was a great experience as well, going through the walk. So we really, really enjoyed it, and we were very thankful for being invited.
You liked it.
Yes, thank you. That scared me. That means we had our virtual ADHD workshop. It was hosted on October 14th. We were in collaboration with Partner Network Resource. We had 31 families register and were online for the workshop. In light of the ADHD Awareness Month, our program will be sharing educational flyers of general tips on how to teach children to wait patiently and being creative with the activities and learning experience. Our program is currently working on an on-site visit to the Santa Rosa's Children's Hospital to tour and learn about services and programs that are provided. We'll continue to keep the committee updated on the news of the tour. Our program is also currently working towards an MOU with the University of Texas at Austin for the Autism Ackland Division. We'll continue to keep the committee up to date with any news and efforts for the MOU that we're conducting with the university. Our program also attended the Autism Consortium of Texas, LEND. It's a long program division name, but it's ACLEND for the October meeting. This was driven by the University of Texas at Austin. This meeting topic discussed obesity data and education for the Latino Hispanic autism community. In light of the Halloween season, our program will once again be able to provide the families with a healthy Halloween recipe activity, but in collaboration with the university to provide that education of health and wellness and share the meeting information for educational purposes for each family that participates in that activity. Our program will be providing or issuing out flyers and educational videos through our social media outlets. It's going to include 5 healthy Halloween recipes, ADHD tips, autism ADHD tips, Down Syndrome Awareness Month, Dyslexia Awareness Month, Halloween disability friendly tips, inclusive Halloween tips, keep in mind Halloween tips, PT Awareness Month, Spina Bifida Awareness Month, and National Disability Employment Awareness Month. And that's my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, we're used to being fear. We're not doing very much work this time.
I told her to like summarize it. Sorry, that was me. She is working very hard.
Yes, she is.
But I'm like, okay, just
I'm being
keep points.
sarcastic. Christine is the hardest working person here.
She is.
Yes, she is.
Okay. Any questions or any comments with the material that was presented? If not, go to item 5, which is a presentation on transition information from Adan Solis, who's a transition specialist at Laredo Independent School District Special Education Department. Mr. Solis, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me today. I'll give you a presentation of what we give to the parents, and I've done this presentation a couple of times, where we give them information about transition process. Transition, of course, we talk about the movement from school to post-school activities, which is where are our students going to go? What are they going to be doing? Where are they going to be getting services? From the school district, of course, we provide what they need for educational purposes, physical therapy, speech therapy, education, recreation, physical activity, and of course, education. We provide all that, but it becomes a challenge to the parents after they leave us. So, I don't know, if you want to go to the next slide already? Now, of course, special education, the recognized disabilities, we service all of these: auditory impairment, autism, deaf blindness, emotional disturbance, intellectual disabilities, multiple disabilities, orthopedic impairment, other health impairments, and our biggest one, of course, is a learning disability, speech therapy, traumatic brain injury, visual impairments, and non-categorical childhood. That's for the early childhood one. They cannot be identified yet as the disability. Go next slide. Now, transition planning, of course, preparation and planning for when the student is no longer in the school system. As per Texas law, of course, it has to be addressed before the age of 14, no later, and every year thereafter, we have to address the plan for the student. Should start upon learning of the child's disability, even at birth. If they know already that the child already has a disability, parents really need to start planning for that. And it is a continuing process. Every year we have to review the plan. The plan includes anywhere from post-secondary education. What are they going to be doing? When are they going to be learning? Because of course education stops at the public school system at the age of 21, 22, whichever they choose. And where are they going to continue? Because of course education for all of us, we're in a constant state of learning every year. So they have to continue that as well. What about a plan for employment? Is the individual capable of having some sort of employment? Then of course we work toward that. Independent living. What about home skills, recreation, leisure, everything else that we do? You know, we go out with friends for coffee and such, and we enjoy. Let's go to the mall, let's go to this festival. They need to have that as well. And of course, continuing training for the student is also important. Parents typically will ask, and when I've done this presentation at parents, sometimes I get a little tear on some of the mothers, and it's like, what is life going to be like for my child after they graduate? They see their child, they get the big yellow school bus in the morning and in the afternoon, and they see them as participating, doing things throughout the day. Well, what's going to happen after they graduate? Where will they live? What will they continue? How will they continue their education? What will they do for fun and recreation? What about employment? Services that are available in the community. I reiterate that we provide a lot of services in the public education system. Where are they going to get those services after they leave? Because everything comes to a very, very quick, abrupt end, you know, once they graduate. And then all of a sudden, the next day, what is it going to look like for this individual? And upon turning 18, what about guardianships, power of attorney, decision-making agreements, wills? And I've always talked to the parents, of course, if you have something, some assets left over, and you're going to do a will, everybody has to get their part. No, because he's got Social Security, it's okay, he's taking care of it. No, no, no. Everybody, every sibling, you know, deserves their part, and somebody to manage that for them. So, next slide. Preparation makes all the difference. At the elementary level, what should parents be doing? Well, they should be signing up for services such as Board of Regents is the main one they need to be signing, depending on their disability, if their intellectual disability, they're born with Down syndrome, severe orthopedic, physical ailments, then they need to sign up with Border Region. The Department of Aging and Disability Services, or as we know it, DAGS, I always tell them, you need to go ask. Department of Health and Human Services, Social Security, if they were born with a disability, they probably will qualify for some sort of assistance. A lot of them with medical needs definitely need help. I advise the parents to keep documentation in every agency. Every ARD meeting that you get from the school, you need to keep that document. Not just sometimes like what do we do, throw it on the dining room table and it stays there. No, it needs to be filed. Develop yourself some sort of system that you're going to need. Contact your agencies at least once a year. Make sure that you assure your child's spot in any waiting list. Border Region, of course, has a waiting list for HCS services, home community services. You need to make sure if you move from one location to another, you move with your sister, you got a new apartment, anything like that, or you change from Cricket to Boost Mobile, you change from AT&T to, make sure that you're keeping, because if they don't get in contact with you and they do everything they can to find, if they don't find you, your file goes in the dead file, So keep your child as active as possible. Participate in family activities. Help out with chores around the house. Make them part of the family. Just because they have a disability doesn't mean they can't do. They can help out in their own way. Classroom teachers also begin at the elementary level to teach self-help skills for the students as well. Middle school. Parents and students do an interest survey or assessment. I always tell them, please ask for assistance if you need helping these out. Once we're starting to gather information so we can start, our planning, which, like I said, has to take place before the age of 14. Continue your contact with all social services if appropriate for you. If you signed up for something, make sure that you stay. Even if you're not using the service from Border Region or DADS at the time, you need to make sure that your child's name is in there. Classroom teachers, they continue to teach life skills, social skills. Students and parents need to start thinking about possible career pathway. Considering the high school CTE, vocational ed classes, always let your teachers, counselors, administrators know what your goals are for your child. What do you see your child doing after they leave us? And we'll help you prepare for those days. That's just a quick rundown. As of 2019, we have a lot of career academies within LISD. We have a lot of things to choose from: agriculture, construction. That's some of our kids, culinary arts is a big thing with our special needs, special needs kids, students, because they're going to need that, to be able to prepare their own meals. Perhaps maybe working one day. We have agriculture. A lot of our kids love working in agriculture, So that's just a brief rundown that I show the parents of. I'm still updating that because we just got new, careers within LISD, new classes. Next slide. So at the high school level, students should be signing up with South Texas Workforce Solutions Rehab Program. Used to be DARS, we used to call it DARS, now they joined forces. I know Jeanette, probably talks to you about that. But now there's a lot more access, especially with that summer training program that they have, the SEAL program. It's excellent. I've seen a lot of our kids go through that. And of course, surveys, questionnaires. Again, we're going to continue to ask those questions, I tell the parents. Every year, you may have changed things. You may have had, now I have this agency. Well, I have this other person helping us out. Let us know. We need to know so we can help you plan as well. Anything that changed, if you're not connected with a particular agency, then by all means, we need to give you that information so you can connect with that agency. Again, mention to us any hobbies, any activities that your child is involved when they're not in school. Anything that they love to do in their leisure time can sometimes translate to employment. I've had those cases before where, what do you do? Well, he just likes to be outside working with his bicycle. They take it apart and I go, you're good with tools. We're gonna put you in small engine repair. What do you think about that? And I've seen some kids actually go through, now where is he at? He's in advanced auto mechanics 2. Excellent. We learned all that by hobbies, things that they do in their leisure time. Discuss with the counselor what vocational classes are available at the high school when planning for your child for the following school year. We do that every year. We do the ARD, we plan for next year, and we'll see where they're going to take for next year. You want to continue with this particular career pathway? No, I didn't like it. That's great. You learned something about yourself that you don't like to do X. Now let's put you on Y. We'll try something else with you. Some of our kids discuss the possibility of college, community college, 1-year certificate program, vocational schools, Job Corps, any of those. There's plenty of things out there for our students. So we discuss the possibilities of any of these, programs that are out there after they leave us. We even have right now within LISD where our kids, high school kids, go and they take classes at LC while they're in school. So they take part of it at the school. We have our welding program. That's one of the programs that we have, and they go and they continue. The instructor tells me, yes, by the time they finish high school, they're almost ready for that test to become certified welders. So students in special ed who want to attend college, just like anybody else, they need to fill out that FAFSA form, take the entrance exams. Everything has to be done just like any other student. In college, there is no modifying of the curriculum. It is a very different world from the public education system. So we inform the parents, yes, he will have to fill out, he will have to take the TSI, the SAT, the ACT. There's very, very limited accommodations because those college works on ADA. We work on IDEA, so it is a very different system, but we need to communicate with them so we can try to get them as close to what we were providing them here at the public education. So contact the Office of Special Populations at the college. That is one of the key success factors that they're going to need, to be successful in college. Next one. As juniors and seniors, we continue training in the community survival skills, home domestic skills for some of our kids that need those type of skills. We, students who qualify, we're going to go and train in the community for future employment. We have our group of students with their job coach and vocational adjustment coordinator, which is a teacher, and they go with them and they train. They do specialized training with them. They do job carving, they do a task analysis. They figure out what the student is good at, what they're not able to do, and work on those skills that they lack. So, next slide. Here we just have a couple of our kids that we go out into the community. We do some training out with local businesses and such. On a side note, it is getting a little more difficult to find training sites for our students. It is some of the employers, some of the businesses, they're a little hesitant to allowing a group of kids with special needs come in there with a job coach. I don't know why they always have to check with their main offices and such, and typically the answer is no. We're not willing to do that program right now. So, but it is difficult to find training sites for our students. We have some very good people that will allow us to come in, but we really want to change it up for them so they can learn new skills. So that is a challenge for us. Next slide, please. So, beyond the 4 years of college, at the end of 4 years of high school, the student meets the criteria, they can continue their education. The first 4 years, we have to definitely do what the state requires of us. We have to do the language arts, 4 credits of that, 3 credits of math, so on and so on. We do have the state requirements and we work toward those. After 4 years, they're done. It is really a choice whether they want to continue. If they want to continue, we have a curriculum for them that involves personal budgeting, individual development, personal health and wellness, food preparation, nutrition, Internet safety, we have a little course with that also for our kids. You know, we continue to focus on employment skills, pet care. I'm sure all of us, you know, most of us have a pet at home, so we need to also teach them how to take care of that. It's part of life, having a little pet. I have several, so it is difficult to take care of all of them. It's a job. You get home and you have to take care of them. They give you so much joy, and they deserve that as well. Prepare to discuss any changes in your child's transition plan. Any state agencies you are in contact with, please, I tell the parents, let us know so we can work with them, collaborate with them. Things to consider before you leave high school for students with extraordinary needs. After high school, who's going to provide the speech therapy, physical therapy, recreation and leisure activities, nursing, attendant care, continuing education, supported employment, a day habilitation program. For home community-based services, sometimes, you know, it is a 10 to 12 year waiting list for those services, and we tell the parents, please sign up as early as possible. All of these are, you know, things that they typically may get at the public education, you know, system. Once they leave, now it becomes, now you don't go to one meeting, you go to a meeting with PT, you go to another meeting with SI, you know, with speech therapy. You go to all these different ones, and it becomes a juggling game with them, and everybody asks, give me these documents, give me the doctor's orders, give me all this, so it becomes a juggling job. And I said, prepare for that time when you get there. So, guardianships is also a big thing. Guardianships at the age of 18. We always work with our Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid to assist our parents with that. So next slide, please. Guardianships, transfer of rights. No matter the disability, once the child turns 18, they're legal adults. Unless, of course, the parent has gotten, you know, the guardianship of the student or the individual. What do you consider? Guardianship, power of attorney, supported decision-making agreement. In either case, it is recommended that you seek legal counsel, but they are different, should I say, agreements or, you know, contracts that the student, the parent can take, you know. Now, I talked to the parents about what is a supported decision-making agreement. It is, as it states, supported decision. The individual, the person with the disability retains their full rights and decision-making powers. A person they designate will assist them in making the decisions, not necessarily make the decision for them, but assist them. Attend meetings, go to the doctor with them. The doctor says, I have treatment plan A, treatment plan B. Which one do you want? They can talk to the individual and both of them, and then the individual has to make the decision. Yes, I want that, or I don't want that. But it really is the least restrictive arrangements. This type of an agreement can be canceled by either party at any time. The way Texas Legal Aid describes it, either one can just tear up that agreement, and that's it. I don't want you to assist me anymore. The power of attorney. The person with a disability designates a person to make decisions for them, you know, in certain situations, not all of them. It can be financial, education, medical decisions. Pretty much the power of attorney, you know, that spells out, this is where I want you to help me, this is where I don't want you to help me. I can make my own decisions in this particular aspect of life. So, again, this can be canceled by either party at any time. Next slide. Now we talk about, a lot of our parents say, oh, I need guardianship, I need guardianship. Well, guardianship requires an attorney, and you have to go to court to file for that. Then the person, it can be a lengthy, costly process for the individuals. I explained to parents, if you go that route, then the court will assign an attorney to your child to look out for their best interests. A court assigns a guardianship to make all the decisions for the person with a disability. Generally, this is reserved for individuals that are incapable of making any decision for themselves. Not necessarily the right decisions, but any decisions whatsoever. parents always, pues es que no quiero que se metan problemas, no quiero que, es que siempre he makes the wrong decision. Well, making a bad decision is also a human right. That is how we learn, and they kind of see me awkward, and they say, yeah, it's our right to make a bad decision. It's okay, Your parents taught you that. When you fell down, you got up and you learned how to walk. And I said, yes, really. Even my kids don't have any mental issues, but yet I can't keep them from making bad decisions either. Sometimes, and it's part of life. So this is only for individuals, and the judge will ask. The judge will ask for psychologicals, studies, any of these things, evaluations, and they'll see, wait a minute, this individual knows how to make decisions, it's just not making the decisions that you want. So that's only, the judge will decide that. No, I'm sorry, you cannot have guardianship, or yes, you can. Only a court can dissolve this arrangement. It will require the same process as obtaining guardianship. So the process to obtain guardianship, to dissolve it, is the same process. Now you have to show them that the individual can make decisions. So they are legally, it involves a lot. So I tell parents, typically you can start with a supported decision-making agreement. If that's not working, then you continue. But in either case, I am not an attorney, but you need to seek the assistance of an attorney. There are only certain attorneys in Laredo that are qualified or certified, should I say, to do guardianships. So I tell the parents, here's the website. I just spoke to a parent last week. Here's the website to the Texas Bar Association. These are the attorneys certified and when their certification ends. So you'll know where to go. Some of our parents say, I went to this attorney and I looked at him. He's not in there, so the only thing he's probably going to refer you to another attorney. He's going to start the case for you, but if you want to go straight to that attorney, there's a list of them, so you can talk to them. That's my information, for any questions that anybody may have on any of this. Huh?
Nice job.
That was very good, thank you.
Like always,
Thank you.
I do have some questions.
Yes.
Regarding the FAFSA and the college opportunities and the applications, the struggle I've been facing is that they're transitioning into college, but who's helping these families with FAFSA? Who's helping them with the college applications? Because in some cases, just like me, going to college, my parents were, applications and FAFSA, and if these individuals have their caregiver having that same obstacle, is there a program within the school, or is there an outside resource that you use for the FAFSA or college applications?
For in LISD, we have counselors at each high school, and they are special education counselors.
Okay.
So all they do is take care of special ed department for that particular school. So they help out with filling out those applications and such, and putting all that together. Make sure you're ready for the TSI test or the SAT. And just like everybody else, these kids are also invited. Let's go to that FAFSA fair, because we have financial aid night, we have career fair, all of these things. Make sure that they're also included with them.
And at those nights, like for instance, the FAFSA at the high schools, all the counselors are there, all the administrators are there, and if parents need assistance, there's computers that are set up to help them with the process.
Oh,
And that's great to know, because I do get several clients of mine that, ask me, and what I do is I refer them back to the specialty programs that the college and universities have to see if they have on-site assistance, because after they graduate, sometimes they take a little time to decide, okay, I want to go to school, and it's like, okay, so now that you're not in the school system with the LISD or UISD, those individuals are in that gap. Can they go back to their original school, or it's just current students that are...
Hopefully I'm not wrong, but in UISD we do the same thing, we have FAFSA night, but I think now it's required that every student, if you're going to college, must allow a FAFSA application before graduation. So we have the same thing they do. We have FAFSA in the evening for the parents, we have FAFSA weekends and so forth. Because not every child must fill it out. You have to remember the House bill.
Okay, so technically those individuals that are already aged out, that, didn't decide to go to school, they should already have something in the system to be able to...
But this just came into effect, I think, last year, the year before.
Oh,
the law
okay.
came into effect.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll look in more. But that was one of my concerns, because I've noticed you know, there's some clients of mine that are coming back that have already aged out, and that was my concern of saying, okay,
I
who
just
can
believe they go
assist?
back to school when they age out. I don't think so, because they're already aged out.
Yeah, but I think that the university and Laredo College should have their
Yeah.
academic
They have a
counselors
counselor.
Yes.
that can assist.
Office of Special
And they have different
Population.
offices
Yeah.
and staff members that can help them.
Yes.
So that's what we've been directing them, but I just wasn't sure if there was still like I can imagine the amount of individuals that go to these specialty counselors, because I know in Laredo College, I just don't know. I know it's probably less than a handful of counselors that they have there. So sometimes we try to assist them and connect them to those resources.
I think Miss Craddock is still
Yeah, Miss
there.
Craddock's
Yes.
still there.
Yeah,
Yes.
Elsie.
And as far as some of what I've been sharing, because we've been connecting with the universities quite often, they've been sending me flyers of transitional college opportunities where they're given a hybrid virtual meeting or an in-person meeting to attend the colleges and universities to see if that's something they would like to do, and there's a specialty program for that transition to teach them on campus their courses, walkthroughs, so that it's prepping them for that full college life. So I'll share that with you on emails, because I know we already have one from Texas A&M San Antonio that's already enrolling for spring 2023, and then for the fall of 2023, and then we also have the University of Texas.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was looking for the email.
I know that we received an email of
Yes.
Aspen flyer. I know we forwarded that to our
Great.
different teams of transition age students. So I shared that with the middle and the high schools.
That's great. Yeah, that's actually what I had pulled up, and I was gonna take the liberty to share it with Mr. Solis as well. But if you have already shared it, I think that's a great opportunity. You know, they have, and I'm a little biased because I'm a Longhorn, but to have a UT experience, you know, and get their post-secondary education, I think that's great. I told them that if they ever had a Laredo student through that program, I'd go to their graduation. So they have that, and then they have another program that provides virtual support for young children, 18 months to 6 years, and their families on social communication intervention. So that's another program to take advantage of. They did share that that's possibly their last year for that program. So anyone that could benefit from our community, I think would be good to share that with.
Yeah, we can share that also with our elementaries, our resource and even self-contained units. as
Yes,
well.
yes.
Those
Thank
And
you.
it's great, Mr. Solis, that you are connected with vocational rehabilitation. Of course, Martha could speak to that because they've got so much money. And talk about helping paying their college. Martha, toot your horn about the money. Martha, tell me you got a big bag of money.
I always
Yes.
think of you, Ms. Sanchez, when they talk about, you know, connecting to those resources.
Yeah.
I share that on your behalf. I'm like, they said they had money.
They don't have money, and it's so sad. It's so sad that, you know, everybody's about the numbers, and we all need measures and metrics. We get that. But to have to send money back because you could not serve, believe me, they're out there.
Yes.
You know? So it's good that we are meeting and that we're having these communications and that Martha's bragging about the big bag of money that they have. Because it's a full ride. Think about it. I mean, it's amazing. And they do amazing. I remember when I was there, they had kids that incarnated Word and their GPA was through the roof and doing amazing things. Yes. Yes. So thank you, Martha.
Now, Ms. Reyes, you mentioned about how sometimes they wait to go to college, and we always advise them, don't take too long. I have had the case where Mr. Solis, he graduated in 2010, but he wants to go to college and he wants all this, and I'm like, those records are destroyed.
Wow.
After 7 years, all the evaluations and everything has to get destroyed.
Well,
It's
see,
impossible
imagínate
to
where you
keep
keep
warehouses
it.
and
Yeah.
all that. So we always advise them, you know, yes, so that means you're gonna have to go get an evaluation, pay for it, you know, and that gets a little complicated, but, you know, we always advise them, you know, don't wait too long. While you're here, especially when they're signing up with all these agencies, sign for them right now. anything you need from the school system, we can provide it. Here's the latest ARD, here's the last evaluation that they had. You want the speech evaluation, you want everything, we've got it in just quality right now. But if you wait too long, those records are going to be destroyed. And sometimes I've looked, not even in our system, we changed, and so even on paper, and they want to see paper, of course, they need to see all that.
Yes.
Nothing exists from the student at that point, so they're gonna have to do this, this, and this to be able to get their accommodations at the college. So, you just advise,
Yeah.
people, don't wait too long, because yes.
Does Cia Roa High School fall under LISD?
Yes.
My mother overlooks several. She's a manager for Texas State of Fashion, so the Melroses. And there was a program where she had students go to retail. And were you actually? My mother's Gloria.
Gloria.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the first thing she did was call me. She's like, Christy, what can I do to better communicate? And I got her all the apps. I got her I even got her masks where it's a see-through, so in case they needed to read lips, because it was deaf and hard of hearing individuals. So
Yes.
I was so proud of her because it was just like she was wanting to learn, and hearing that experience from her, and now understanding and listening to your presentation about how it's difficult to get employers to come into this realm of being able to give them the opportunity. I know me and Erica will work on seeing possibly, I know October is Disability Employment Awareness Month, but it should be all year long where we're being able to advocate. We'll look into avenues to kind of work on webinars and getting more employers involved and stakeholders so that we can give them the opportunities. Because, like I said, it was a life-changing experience for my mom, and she absolutely loves it. Even the staff, I got so much feedback from the staff, and them being able to, I know I had downloaded some apps of where they provide ASL. You literally speak into the phone and it has an ASL interpreter.
Yeah.
So she was just like really amazed with the technology and the opportunities for accessibility of communication there is. And I know there's a lot of employers that they're hesitant on that because of that communication. But if they have these tools and resources, they'll make more.
easier.
It'll be more.
Absolutely.
Yes. Mother, I did a cold call. I just walked in. We have a program. We need, sites and everything.
Yes.
And so she was like, okay, let me talk it over. And then she was like, yes. And I go, oh, and you earned your wings. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Well, yes,
It was
Christine, is
just
she connected
awesome.
with VR? Because they're always looking for job sites, so they have the year-round work experience too, and they pay very well. It's not minimum wage. So they've got different brackets, right? And if they've got certain experience, if they're degree, they're paying very well. She ought to connect, Marta. Mineta, Marta.
Yes, I didn't want to leave abruptly, sorry about that. But yes, I'm really excited. Mr. Ortiz, right?
Solis.
Sorry, it's because I couldn't hear right. But it's really great that you know about us, and yes, about the summer earn and learn programs. And just like Christine was saying, and how you were saying, Ms. Solis, we're always, the same goes for VR services. Sometimes we have difficulties in finding some employer sites, but I know with the city of Laredo, they have also gone through, the health department specifically has always been very available to work with our students and with our adult population as well. So if it be that if it's a student that after high school, right, they're barely making their plans, they can still come to us, and we're always, also looking for job sites and businesses that want to work with us, and so that these individuals can get that work experience, and we can get them hopefully into a successful employment outcome. So I thank you, for your referrals, and as always, we're always here to help. I know we usually have like some changes if of course the counselor leaves, but know that you also have a point of contact here through the Blue Ribbon Committee meeting, and I can most definitely pass on those referrals as well to my supervisor. But yes, we're here to help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we move on?
The center is always a site for, taking in, we are in the program, I know we've always been with them, and exactly, we've hired, right now we have one that we hired from the program, the DARS, we still call it DARS.
Yes,
Yes, but we have, and of course, we have another that's been with us for like 10 years, that's also.
That's great.
So we have two of our staff members, so you can give me a call if you need any placements, we'll see how we can. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Before you leave, Ms. Rodriguez, thank you so much for the letter of support. We're very excited. I'll share additional information during announcements, but we're about to click the button to submit. So please send out good, positive vibes for it.
You're awesome. You're welcome anytime you need.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye, Miss Jackie, take care.
Thank you, Jackie.
Take your
Oh, yes, please.
Sí, llévate el lonche.
Yes,
No te vas a ir
please.
a lonche.
Luego se queda y luego nos dice que ya no me da.
Take them.
No, chicken, it's what I'm going to.
Vas a ir a comer allá.
Sí,
¿Qué vas a comer?
Vamos todos.
In the meantime, tomorrow we're taking our
Yes, that's awesome.
So we're gonna go over there.
Oh, okay. Enjoy.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, agenda item number 6, discussion and possible action on Autism Coalition.
So just a brief announcement, we do have our second town hall meeting for the Autism and Special Needs Master Plan tonight at 6 p.m. at the main library, so off of Carlton. We had very good participation last month when we held our first meeting. We had it both, in person, and we had some feedback that was provided electronically for those that were scared or apprehensive to speak up. They had an avenue to provide their feedback in written form, and it was all in real time, and we were able to show some of that and have a very engaging discussion. So we're very excited for the one this evening to continue that discussion. We revamped our survey questions based on the feedback we received last town hall to kind of get additional information this time around. That survey, based on feedback from the Autism Coalition who met last week, is also going to be accessible through social media channels. So if those that can't participate in the town hall can still provide feedback through that survey that's online. We will have an additional town hall meeting in South Laredo. We are trying to set the date with the MOS branch. It has like the longest name. McKendrick, Ochoa, all those last names in South Laredo. Hopefully mid-November, same time, so that South Laredo has the opportunity to participate as well. We do have a strict deadline from Dr. Chamberlain for the master plan to be unveiled in February. So we're working towards that with the feedback received
Not very much time.
from the Autism Coalition to and the community. This is just to step forward. Right now the focus is on autism, so that's through the lens that we're looking at getting the feedback from, how to improve recreation or private sector businesses, maybe developing a system that shows that that business or that area is inclusive, or doing taking additional considerations to ensure that the autism community feels welcomed, and then from there it'll branch out to perhaps other special populations. So a lot of work, but we're very excited to what's to come. And that's it on the Autism Coalition update.
Thank you, Roxanne.
Can I ask you a real quick question? I'm looking at February 2022 as the report, right?
2023, yes.
23, excuse me. I was thinking that's right around the corner.
Yes.
Have you all it's not going to be all inclusive. I mean,
No.
it would have to be just a framework, or
Right.
what is the goal?
So, kind of start through the lens of autism. So whatever we've received in terms of feedback for autism, and it's pretty much kind of chapter 1 of the master plan.
So the chapter 1 of the master plan would be opinions? Or what you
It's
get from the
feedback
survey?
on, yeah.
Feedback?
hmm So best practices, perhaps launching, like I said, that inclusive business program. Christine has also been working with childcare centers to provide additional training. What else have we done?
So feedback from stakeholders, right?
Yes, stakeholders and the community. That's why we're holding the town halls.
And just creating a more inclusive environment in, we started here at the health department, like for instance with the vaccine administration, learning techniques and being able to, again, roll into the divisions of fire department, PD, and having those trainings come in. So it's catering to the specific division's needs and being more accommodating and inclusive. So we've been working on several projects on the as far as the health department to be that model, and then for the city of Laredo to be that model for these.
Start here and then
Correct.
generalize. Okay, thank you.
That's what we do.
Okay. Next item is air quality.
So the update on that, I know Dr. Chamberlain is the pro. I do have, only update is we're still waiting on the decision from EPA on the grant application that we did submit. Dr. Chamberlain is in talks with them on any other potential, either funding mechanism or support through EPA to continue the discussion and any activities with that. So that's my update.
Thank you.
He says it much more eloquently, I'm sorry. I should have gotten his notes.
Thank you, Erica. Item 7 is any announcements?
I do, just want to let the committee know that we have our Parent Learning Summit for November 5th, it's a Saturday, and it's from 7:30 to 1, and we have like maybe 800 parents already registered.
What day is that?
It's a Parent Learning Summit, and we have breakout sessions from dyslexia to ADHD to how to help students in the classroom, STAR, SAS, and so forth. Yeah,
And then where is it gonna be?
it's at United High School.
Can you please connect with
Yeah.
November 5th, United High
It's
School,
on a Saturday. Yes.
Saturday, what time?
It's from, well, we have 7:30 to 1 p.m.
Thank
Yeah.
What date is that?
It's a Saturday, it's always on a Saturday.
November 5th.
November
So
5th.
parents can attend.
And we have daycare available for them, so.
Wow.
And we bus them from the south and
If
so
you need
forth.
anything from Christine, I'm like, well, I'm
Yes.
telling her.
Volunteers would be
Yes.
great.
She could
Christine,
have,
yeah.
She can become available
And
for
I-
resources. Oh,
Yes, I will talk to you.
Who's talking? Oh, Ceci, she's gonna have to.
yes, Miss Ceci?
Ceci.
Yeah, she's got her hand.
Hello?
Hi.
There she is,
Hi.
okay.
It's February 10th.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, well, this is Ceci. I'm so sorry. I'm traveling on the road. I'm on my way to San Antonio, and this one is for Daniel, Mr.
Yeah.
Castellon.
I didn't know
If
you
you have
were
your phone, remember what day, Mr. Castellon?
February 10, 2023, the evening.
Yes.
That's
Everyone
right,
is
that's
welcome
right,
to
6
attend and to
o'clock.
assist.
Every single.
Yeah,
No,
maybe
don't
like a
forget,
prom
we should have a location by this coming meeting that we have in November. I will give you all the other information. For those of you that are interested in participating, I think it's going to be an amazing event and opportunity for us to celebrate with community. So thank you so much. And like I said, my apologies, I couldn't be there. But February the 10th, don't forget. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ceci.
Mr. Garza, regarding the Learning Summit, are there booths or?
Yeah, you want to talk afterwards?
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah.
I do have 2 brief announcements. I just wanted to share with the committee that part of the
Disability Employment Awareness Fund.
I never get the titles right. In October, we did provide a training in partnership with Texas Workforce VR to our health department staff. We had approximately, do we know the number of participants?
Just throw a number, we'll believe you.
Yeah, there we go. Yes. Yeah. So we did have good feedback about the training from staff. We already heard kind of outcomes, you know, we were in another meeting and they're like, well, in the training, they did say blah, 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 blah. So,
Good.
it's stuck and they're learning.
That's awesome.
So we're very excited about that. And then we are close to submit, if not already, in a funding opportunity, and it has a very long title, and I have it up here so that I can just read it out. It's through NACHO, which is the National Association of City and County Health Officials, and they are providing a funding opportunity for, I lost it.
Addressing.
Here it is. Addressing needs of people with disabilities in COVID-19 local preparedness planning, mitigation, and recovery efforts. That's a $75,000 opportunity that would fund a position as disability specialist. So we're hoping that we enhance the efforts of Ms. Christine and her program through a disability specialist that would assist. Particularly, I mean, Christine's done great work with emergency preparedness planning for people with disabilities. So we just want to kind of keep that momentum. So yes, please send out good vibes and positive thoughts that we obtain the funding. It is a quick turnaround. The deadline is Friday to submit the grant, and we'll know, I believe, the 31st. If we received it, to launch in January. So very excited about that, and I think those are my only announcements.
I have one, just since UISD announced theirs, the LISD one is called the Title I Family Education Workshop and Community Resource Fair. That will take place Saturday, November 12th at our new building, the Performing Arts Center, 2400 San Bernardo. Yes.
The pack.
Yeah, I don't have the times. The time should be in the morning. They usually start around 8:30.
So that's already operational.
Yes. Well, our offices are there.
Yeah. Oh,
We're in
how
there.
nice! I've gone through there, and it looks amazing.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful.
Wow,
I
excited.
gotta go drive there.
Yeah.
No more Civic Center.
I know.
I'm icon.
Yeah.
They did the 3-story building. It's beautiful.
It looks very, very neat through the outside.
wanted to do that.
Yes.
We're gonna host one of our meetings over there, so we can check
Well,
it
I
out.
was gonna mention it, but
If you'd like to invite us.
It's right there.
Yeah.
We
Right.
love
So what's
that.
over the PRC meetings?
Johnny Carino.
I'm sure they need to go through
Down
like,
the road.
approvals
That's
and
okay. Get your
stuff.
approval, let us
We have
know.
a person who's in charge of the building.
Yeah.
We schedule meetings through her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, good.
well,
Check
you
the
can
schedule, let us
share
know.
discretion.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Sounds
Let me
good.
know. Let
I have just one announcement. So we're partnering with the City of Laredo Health Department, right, to do a mobile health village. We were a partner for the one that was held at the Sisters of Mercy, Zacatecas. They did an amazing job.
Yes.
Very well attended. And so one of the partners walks over and says, hey, we can host them. I went, and I said, hey, we can host too. So happy to announce that we will be partnering. It'll be a Thursday, November 17th. We'll have all kinds of good stuff there. We're working through the logistics of the time, but there'll be more information forthcoming once we've got the flyer out and whatnot. But they're going to be, of course, the mobile health clinics. They're going to have 8, and then relevant partners in community with resources, BMI, flu shots, COVID tests for kids. We'll have Elsie there, Tammy, you there, the nursing department, the code, and the PTs. Yeah, so it's gonna be good. It's for the community. We're just kind of debating on time, when is it going to work better? So we're working through those logistics, and then we'll let the community know. And if you all would help us get the word out, granted, you all have a huge platform. Mama didn't raise no dummy. They said, you want to do flyer? I said, no, you do it. You want to post it? No, you do it. I said, your platform's a lot bigger than ours. So we're
Whatever we
excited.
can do to help.
Thank
definitely.
you. Thank
So,
you.
Yes, and our mobile healthcare village has really taken on a lot of momentum. We try to go to people that can come to us, and then partnering, of course, will offer the variety of services and resources that maybe the community are not aware that
Exactly.
are available, and then they're able to access them immediately.
Yes.
So we're very proud of that effort. Yeah, right now, thankfully, we have the manpower to do that, so
Yeah.
we'll maximize that.
Yes, thank you.
It sounds a lot like the Juntos for Better Health that we used to have with Tammy Yu
Well-
and the health department as well.
That is still a thing, and actually, another announcement. We are actually now with Juntos for Better Health stationed at the Santa Rita. It used to be a library, and now it's turning into a community center that will provide health services, workforce development, computer access for that community if they need computer access for anything. Yeah, just all sorts of services. They have their ribbon cutting tomorrow.
Yes,
Tomorrow at 9. So if anyone would like to join, it is at the. I'll have Tiffany send you the info.
Send the info, yeah.
Yeah, can you send the little flyer? There's a little
Yeah.
flyer that just got out. Eli sent out. So they're launching to that, but they've also had a traveling health team that assists and sometimes they combine efforts. But yeah, it's kind of derived from that, but they're still a thing. Juntos for Better Health is still around.
Good. That's it. Unless we have another announcement. If not, item 8 is adjournment, so if you all agree, or at least 2 of you agree, we could close the meeting. So I need somebody to motion to close.
Almost.
And I said,
Second. Thank you. So the meeting's over. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.